The royal family is once again in the spotlight, with Prince Harry airing his grievances to the world after losing a security battle.
I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff.
And that interview,
that might have something to do with it.
A few other things. I mean, he's got off the rails, hasn't he? I actually feel, for the first time, a bit sorry for him. He's so lost.
He's deep down in that burrow, isn't he? It's sort of hard to retrieve yourself out of that.
Well, that interview sparked widespread backlash, with a new poll revealing a majority of Brits want to see Harry stripped of his HRH title. For more, we're joined by royal expert Victoria Arbiter, live from Melbourne. Hey, Victoria, nice to see you. What do you reckon?
Good morning to you. Well, certainly, yes, Harry and Meghan's detractors have been calling for them to be stripped of their HRH since they left the royal family over 5 years ago. But those calls seem to be growing louder and from a more widespread community. And I think that's partly because of this interview over the weekend, which has actually backfired spectacularly on Prince Harry. I think people are starting to lose patience and certainly lose interest in his many, many court battles. But also because last week it was revealed that Meghan has been using this HRH in a private capacity. There was a with compliments slip given to a celebrity friend of hers, and that was expressly forbidden by the Queen. They were able to keep the HRH. They just weren't supposed to use it. So I think people have sort of reached breaking point when it comes to the Sussex's woe is me narrative.
How have they had such a bad read of the room, Victoria? I mean, the point we were making before about how Prince Harry wants to reconcile with his father, with his family, but how is that even possible if he keeps airing this dirty laundry for the whole world to see?
Therein lies the million-dollar question, Sarah. It's a lovely idea. I think most reasonably minded people would like to see a family reconcile, particularly in the wake of King Charles's health struggles. But at this point, I just don't see how it could happen. Even in the interview, there was one point after Harry had made some really quite startling claims. He even suggested that there are dark forces at play that want history to repeat itself. When the interviewer pressed to find out who that was, he said he was not prepared to share at this point. And that came across as something of a thinly veiled threat. And I think this is the issue that the royal family have. Anytime they have spoken to Harry, that conversation has ended up on a US news program with a friendly journalist. I just don't think they can trust him. And until they can trust him, there is no path forward.
I reckon, too, that people look at Harry and just go, oh, mate, you probably just need to put yourself on the sidelines for a little bit. And but he's also got Meghan, who's rallying the troops behind him on Instagram and showing that support. So that divide just keeps on getting wider.
It certainly does. And also, until Harry and Meghan are prepared to take accountability for their own actions, there's also not a path to reconciliation. Meghan did share a beautiful image overnight on Instagram. It was a show of support for her husband. There was no comment alongside it. She hasn't been with him at any of his court cases. She wasn't with him at the interview for the BBC. She hasn't made any comment on the security issues. It was seen as a show of support. Harry with his children, they never showed the children's faces. But they seem to be in this bubble where they think that they are the ones that are the victims in all of this and that they are not to blame and that everybody else is against them. And until they're prepared to come to the table and acknowledge the faults that they have or the role that they have played in some of this, nobody is unblameable in any of this. I think there's a lot of people that could apologise, but apologies work both ways.
What chances do you reckon, Meghan, of doing that?
Very slim. Slim to none. Let's go with that. Slim to none at this point.
Probably
unless
right
the
there,
money
Victoria.
runs out.
Thanks, Victoria.
Thanks
Thank
for joining
you.
us this morning. Dickie, what do you reckon, eh? It's the drama,
I reckon Harry
drama.
needs someone just to tell him to get on with his life, and he's got it pretty good.